like you guys, we'd got new contracts we were onboarding. We'd obviously got our accounts that we'd got that were growing quite rapidly. 2020, for most of our clients, was looking to be a really, really good year. So whilst you're doing all of that onboarding and implementation and recruiting, some of your service offering, if you like, you're just kind of ensuring that you've got that best practice in place. So what's it enabled us to do is put what I call a few more tools in the kit bag.
And Louise, I think that's one of the main things that I've been so amazed at during all of this experience, is just how adaptable and flexible people and businesses can be. Because certainly if you look at what's been going on, you know, in the wider world, but also especially in our industry, where we've got hotels that have opened their doors for key workers pretty much overnight. We've got pubs that are operating takeaway businesses pretty much overnight. You know, they've adapted and they've changed their business very, very quickly, I suppose because they've had to. But actually, for many of us, it's actually really worked it's actually worked really, really well. It's been a really good opportunity because we've been thinking about this online learning, as Joe's just said, for quite some time. We've said we'd like to do more of these live online sessions. And it's something that it's really been on a bit of a back burner for us, because we've always known that it would be something we'd love to do for them. But then all of a sudden, because of what's happened, we've been able to adapt what we do and very, very quickly change the way that we deliver our training. So in terms of online learning, I came across this software quite some time ago when we were looking for a client who wanted to pull some e-learning together. And we came across this fantastic software. And one of the things that I said to Joe and Rose was, actually, it would be great if we could take the software and adapt it for the Smart Training Company so that we can then deliver this or provide this for other clients. So some of the smaller independent hotels, it can be very, very difficult for them to release a whole team, maybe for a whole day of training. But actually what they could easily do is to give everybody a log on to an e-learning system that it's been put together for them. It's got bespoke training modules on it. And in their own time, via their mobile or via the tablet, the team members can work through this training. It could be a receptionist perhaps on the desk. They've done a really busy check-in and now got a little bit of a lull. They could be working through that training unit, and you can just dip in and out, perhaps just for 10 or 15 minutes at a time. So we always knew that that would be perhaps the way that we needed to go, because I think we do need to start delivering training in these little bite-sized chunks. But actually this change, this pause has enabled us to roll this out very, very quickly, provide it to a number of hotels that perhaps hadn't considered it, or maybe were a couple of years away maybe from adopting this type of training.
Yeah. It's been a catalyst, hasn't it? A real catalyst.
It really has been. Yes, and I think that's the thing, because as I was saying, that I've been amazed how adaptable and flexible businesses can be. It's been a case of us perhaps making a suggestion and people say, yes, we want it. So the e-learning, the Smart Hub, has been great. We've been able to launch that far sooner than we perhaps would have done. And it's enabled us to push out these training modules, bespoke training modules for hotels, so that we can support them at this time. So that they can, while their team members are furloughed, they can actually be engaging with them through the Smart Hub. And they've enjoyed that. I mean, I've seen a flurry of interest, even on a Friday night, when people are logging in and having a look at what the new training units that we've rolled out to them. And there's also quite a competitiveness to it as well. You can see that. Number of team members who think, oh gosh, actually I want to get more points, I want to be at the top of the leaderboard. So they're logging in and they're actually really, really enjoying working through the training units, even though they're furloughed. And perhaps, I suppose, for many people at the moment, if they are furloughed, perhaps otherwise they wouldn't be thinking about work.
Well, I would say, and obviously we've got some team members that are furloughed at Exec Space, but what's really important to them is this kind of validation that they're still part of it. Because as much as, and I think there are some people that think, oh, furlough, it's great. Actually, the reality is you're very vulnerable. And I think they're very aware of that, because is there going to be, within the industry, is there going to be this job for me to come back to? And I've got some friends that are in very senior roles that have been furloughed. So instantly it was a huge reduction in income for them. And then on top of that, am I going to be vulnerable at the end of this?
You've almost got two camps, haven't you, Louise, as well? So you've got the people that are furloughed, that are happy to be furloughed and are enjoying doing different new things that perhaps aren't work related. And then the people that are actually, this is my chance to upskill. This is my chance to really get ahead here and really develop myself. And I think that's what we found, certainly with one of the companies that we've worked with, is the fact that they actually really, they love the engagement. They need the engagement. You know, we've probably got nearly 50% of the team really that are engaged and are completing the learning units and the training units. And they're not just, it's not just about business. We've actually, you know, we've looked at different webinars that will be of interest to them. We've looked at different videos on YouTube that are relevant to the hospitality industry. And we've created then these little models where they can actually, you know, they can watch a video and then they can answer questions about it, but the questions are really interactive. And like Sarah said, there's this competitiveness then because they get scores and what have you. So I'm amazed at how engaged people have been during this furlough time, certainly with this one company, and also then with another company that are saying, we really want to engage with our teams. What do we do? What have you got? And the Smart Hub fits that really, really well, doesn't it? Really nicely.
And it's really fantastic that we're able to use this time to train. It's great for the hotels, but also what I think it does by the hotel using this method is that it shows the people who are furloughed that they are still being invested in, even though they're furloughed. The hotel company is showing that they really want to develop and spend time investing in their team members, which I think at the moment, like you say, reassurance is really key. People need to feel reassured at this particular time. So this has kept them engaged, even though, you know, the period of time that they've actually been furloughed has perhaps been a lot longer than they ever thought it would be. It's meant that every week they have been still engaging with that business. They've been thinking about when they come back to work.
Yeah.
So their mindset's different to perhaps if they hadn't have had that opportunity. I mean, the reason that I went self-employed was because I worked for a company I absolutely loved working for them, part of a fantastic team, and got made redundant when 2008 and the financial crash happened.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was a great thing in the end. Probably didn't feel like it at the time, but it was a great opportunity for me to then go self-employed. And, you know, look at us now all working together, really enjoying being part of a team again. But actually, I wouldn't have taken the plunge without that happening. And I think that maybe that will happen again with what's happened recently with the lockdown.
Maybe.
Really, you know, new businesses will come out of it. There are people who will always see the opportunity in any situation, whether or not it seems, you know, really negative, really bad at the time. Often, you know, people do find a positive slant to it.
And sometimes it's following their dream as well. It gives them the opportunity, to sit back and go, what have I always wanted to do? What am I passionate about? And now there's this opportunity.
Yeah,
interesting times.
It is, and only like the fullness of time we'll see this. I think within our industry, because we're so used to planning so far ahead, and suddenly you can't do that. Everything is short here now, and I think, you know, I was worrying about things in March. I'm kind of thinking, well, things will probably be back together come April. Let's get Easter out of the way and it'll probably start to move. And then, no, we had another lockdown. And I think things came really real for me when they were extending furlough. And then they pushed it to the end of June. And I was like, wow, okay. And then you were like, you know what? Things have got to be pretty dire. And not that I didn't think for a minute it wasn't serious at all. And I can actually, hand on heart, I've done lockdown. I have followed it to the letter. So when we could only go out for a walk once a day, that's all we did. You know, I didn't go out. I do click and collect, which is drive-through. So I don't even go in the store. You know, so back in the early days, you know, really like I need to protect my family, you know, as it were. But when furlough then was extended, I was like, gosh, the government are literally, there's no private sector and public sector. Right now, on furlough, everybody's public sector because the government are paying your wages. Well, if they're paying us to stay at home, how deadly is this virus? And I actually found that quite, what's the word? Well, quite hard hitting, like quite like, oh my God, you know, and this is serious. And people that are flouting rules, seriously, you know, the government are paying 80% of people's wages.
Yeah.
You know?
And then the schools. So then the schools not opening until September. I think that again was another really big kind of wake up call that this is long term. In fact, the world has changed, and it's never going to go back to what we were before. It can't. But it can be better on so many levels. It's just going to take so much time.
It's that, like as you've done as a business, you've adapted, you've been flexible, you've mobilised things quicker than perhaps what you thought you needed to do, but you've done that and you've changed moving forward. And it's those businesses that have got resilience and have got that agility that will come out of this. And I think you're very self-aware that we know things will be different. And it's that, as you said, Rose, it could come up a bit, it could come down, and we could go through that for sure.
So, someone said to me the other day, the only thing we can be certain of is it's changing all the time.
Yeah.
So it's, as you say, it's that resilience and just opening up to that is the reality at the moment. And it's so that, you know, as we say, embrace the change, be creative, you know, these are opportunities for the better in many cases.
But I think that's a state of mind as well, though, is you have, like, clearly are embracing this, that this is an opportunity for the better, and that's how you need to approach it.